I'll give you one try. Guess who recorded an entire episode of this with no audio? An entire episode. Imagine my surprise when I go to edit and I realize that I couldn't hear anything I said. I'm gonna crash out. Anyways, hi, hello. If this is your very first time around here, I'm Lyra. The first time we did this, we created a new world and we yapped about books. And so we started with the book, The Art of Thinking Clearly. It was very fun, very interesting. Feel free to watch part 1 if you haven't already. Today, before we start, I'm gonna tell you the story of what happened while I was recording with no audio, because you might be very much surprised as we go in here by the fact that not only am I in a completely different place than where you left me last time you saw me, but I also lost all of my stuff and then I had to get it back. So I, unfortunately, lost some. See, I need to stop exploring and just continue on my epic adventure. So the bad news is that I lost everything. I died twice. The first time, it was fall damage. The second time, I drowned. And you know what happened when I drowned? I had put a bed down before I went into the water to try and get to a chest that was underwater. Wouldn't you know it? I put the bed down, put all my stuff in the chest. I didn't click on the bed and it spawned me right back to where I had started. And so I crashed out and then I finished the recording and then I went to edit and then I realized that I had no audio and then I crashed out again. So hi, hello, we're redoing this. We're back to our epic adventure. The goal is simple this time. Survive, please. As we survive, I now have the responsibility to repeat everything I said, but you know what? That's fine because, okay, please don't fall. We spoke about the art of thinking clearly last time and we left it at the availability bias, and I'm glad that we kind of left it there and I didn't move forward because I finished that chapter. I didn't even realize that I had not finished that chapter, but I finished that chapter. And then after I finished it, I realized that I didn't really do it justice to the way that it should have been explained, at least in my opinion. I feel like it deserves, in my opinion, a re-explanation. And the reason for that is because as you progress further in the chapter, you realize that this could actually be applied to things that we've been experiencing in today's society. I should probably look for where this river goes because I gotta get out of here. Why are the trees dying? Wait, I have never seen you. Hi. Oh my god, you're so cute. You're so cute. Hi. Oh, Minecraft music is so big, dude. What the hell? It's so big. Anyway, well, have I seen the brown ones before? You're brown. We love all the browns.
We love all the browns.
Guys, I still have no idea. I've been watching a few videos about people doing their starter bases. I still have no idea what I want to do with mine though. And I should. You know what? At least we respawned near to a place where I could find pink trees, because now I have a pink boat, which essentially makes the whole thing worth it. It makes it worth it now, technically speaking, right? I can say that. Uh-oh. Can I do that? Do I go through? Okay, no, I don't go through. I in fact do not go through. Quite the opposite, actually. I should probably get to finding a place to sleep. Please don't perish. The good news is that I now have a bed. You know what? Now I wish I had a pink bed to match my pink boat. How do I make a pink bed? And we, hey, okay, there you go. And we eat. Hell yeah. Okay, what was I even talking about? Availability bias. One of the things that I kind of wanted to talk about now that I have read the entire chapter is particularly personal experience, mainly in the subject of how available we evaluate certain experiences to be in comparison to how close we are in relationship to those experiences. And the reason why I wanted to discuss that is because it's very common, right? Where is this even going? It's very common for people to try to use their own personal experiences as a proof of concept of how some people are wrong, right? Especially as we're discussing topics of social magnitude in social media or topics that affect entire communities. I don't know what that is. What is that? I should probably pick up. I really hope. Is it with this? Is this the right tool? Whoa, it's so deep. I'm pretty sure bro saw me. None of them are closer where I could just take one and go. I mean, I should probably not do that, but hold on. I'll take this. I need that. I don't think there's ever enough of it. I heard a sound, bro. Okay, so availability bias. How easily accessible do we interpret certain situations? Wait, It's a lily of the valley. I take it with me. Lily of the valleys are my favorite flower, chat. Anyways, they're my favorite flower. Oh no, I need to find a home. I need to stop getting sidetracked. So the brain sort of learns in a way that is very cyclical, and then because of these availability of outcomes, information, I don't remember where it came from. This is not good. Availability of information and outcomes and things along those lines actually very closely tied to how often we see it in our real life, because we already have, which we already discussed, this bias where we tend to evaluate ourselves to be more likely to experience the best outcome possible. We sort of have this tendency to just believe that our worldview is a definitive as opposed to an acquisition of information that thus then translate. Isn't that where I came from? Didn't I come from there? Am I going in circles? We're gonna go to the other side. We already have this tendency to believe that the story that's the loudest is the one that people are more likely to experience, which this perspective on its own doesn't really consider any data. It's just that, a perspective. Where am I even going? Is this like an open area? Like there's nothing on here? Oh, yes there is. Is that a jungle biome? I've been thinking about making like a treehouse build in a jungle biome. I don't think, have I found the jungle biome before? You know what, chat? I think we should make a treehouse in the jungle biome. I think this is a good space for my first build. Well, not here per se, but the jungle biome. Let me see. I think it's a great idea, chat. I almost leave a... No, do I not have space? Why don't... Girl, please. I need my bow. I don't need an egg. I think what I should really do is condition this island, because this little island has like good space, at least for my starter build, and it's close enough to the water. The real question is this connected to anything that could put me in danger? Like, are enemies gonna spawn? You know what? I don't want to jinx it, but I feel like things are going far more smoothly now. So the first thing I think we should do is, I think we should build a temporary base. I heard a sound. You know what? We should build a temporary base maybe over there, because if we build it over there, then we can sort of condition these little island space to be, do I want to make the tree house over there or over here? I don't know, chat. Anyways, I'm gonna make the temporary house here, and then I'm gonna explore this area properly and choose where it is that I want. Don't fall, please. Don't fall. I feel like we've already died enough for like this entire month. I feel like that's enough. Let's get this over with. Let's just sleep. Okay, very well. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start working on building this temporary housing situation. And while I do that, I'm gonna tell you the story of how this availability bias kind of played out in my actual real life, in a situation in which I had these friends, these supposed friends. It's always somebody you think is your friend. It's always somebody you think is your friend. But these girls were with me in school, and they wanted to go clubbing. So what they had done is they had decided that they wanted to go clubbing even though we were all minors. They had met some boys. These boys had put the idea in their minds that they could sort of find a way to let them in with like a friend, just figure things out like a friend of theirs, and then let them in the club. And so they wanted to go and leave that experience and leave that adventure. I'm not here to judge whether or not they had a right to do that or whatever. That's not my prerogative. But because they had decided to do that, where's the door? Here it is. Because they had decided to do that, they were sort of putting this idea in the rest of my friends' minds. And some of the girls said yes, some of the girls said no. I had already said no. And then another one of my friends, my close friends, said no as well. And our reasoning was very simple. Mine was, that sounds very dangerous. I'm not gonna do that. And you know, it's very common to go out and party when you're turning 16, at least in this country. So in my mind, it's like that part was normal. Purposefully trying to go into a place that is meant for adults was not. There were places where you could go in and it was completely legal and you could hang out with other friends, even if some of those friends were adults. But the club that they wanted to go to was also in a very sketchy, very dangerous part of town. They had sort of invited some of the girls. Some of the girls said yes, some of the girls said no. I said no. I told them it was very dangerous and I didn't want to do that. My friend also told them that was very dangerous and she didn't want to do that. And then when we started having the conversation of them, you know, calling us cowards, I said, you're not going to say you're a coward if a shooting happens. And so the thing with shootings is, first of all, you can't predict them. And second, in the area that they wanted to go to, they're actually very common. So my friend, being who she is, tries to sort of have that conversation and explain that to them in a way that they would understand. Granted, personally, I've always been the kind of person that if I try to explain something to you once and you're not, I get a feeling that you're not understanding it, quote unquote, by choice. You're choosing not to understand it. I'm just going to leave you be, and you're just gonna have to live with the consequences of your choices. My friend, however, she was the kind of person to just sit there and have a conversation, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Point being, my friend decides to sit there and have the conversation with them. And I, being who I am, I'm just watching this whole thing go down. And to you, you may say, well, where does the bias play a part? My friend mentions the whole thing about a potential shooting. And then the girl that was inviting us to go there goes, well, even if a shooting does happen, what makes you think that you're gonna be the one person that's gonna get shot? Are we dead ass? Are we for real right now? So in my mind, I'm like, oh, she just doesn't care about leaving, I guess. At least that's what crossed my mind when she said that. But again, I wasn't the person that was gonna sit there and have that conversation with them because I'm not interested. If you wanna die, you're not gonna catch me stopping you. If you have decided that you wanna perish, who am I to stop you? Who am I to stop you? Respectfully. And so I said, I think you should just let them go. I mean, they clearly want to go. They clearly don't think their own lives hold any relevance to the fact that they want to go. So just let them go. Stop arguing with them. But again, my friend was the kind of friend to just be conversational, try and talk it out. And so that's what she did. Which, once again, I don't particularly criticize my friend for being like this. I think that there's value to what she was trying to do. I just think that she was barking at the wrong tree because these girls obviously didn't care, right? I fail. Stop it. Okay. I think what's going to happen here is I'm going to make it so that the wall is tall enough so that I can have a good amount of storage in the wall, because I don't want to move into the new base until I have completely redone this area, and I have a feeling that I'm gonna have to save a ton of resources as I do that. So I'm just gonna keep taking dirt from here. I don't love the fact that I'm doing this, but I have a feeling that I'm gonna have to terraform a lot on the other side, and I have a feeling I'm gonna have to plant a bunch of trees. So I'm still gonna need the space anyway, in my opinion. So I might as well, right? Okay. Well, that broke. That's no fun. Can I make it? Do I make that jump? Wee! Okay, dude. I am not good at this. Parkour is not my thing. Okay. How? There you go. And ta-da! Now, it is my understanding that these things, they're supposed to like go in the wall without me having to put anything special. No? Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Okay. This is gonna be good. We should probably take a nap. We takes a nap. Okay, so the house is coming along just fine. Coming along just fine. However, what I want to do now is I want to build some more of these to kind of have them around, because again, there's gonna be a lot of gathering of materials. For now, we're gonna do these. I'm gonna do more chests here. And come on. Okay, we're doing good over here. So for now, wood and wood adjacent, right? Ore and ore adjacent. I don't even know if this counts. What do I have on here? Okay, a ton of ore adjacent things, but these plant stuff, we're just gonna put over here for now. Paper. We found that under the water. I just remember that you guys weren't here when we did that. Oh my god, we need to go get more food too. I don't know what this is about. Or this. Or this. This is ore adjacent. This is also ore adjacent. This is wood. And then this is just a tool. Should probably find like we're gonna put ore here and ore stuff. We're gonna put wood here and wood stuff. I think I take this as well. I have to make more sticks probably. And then I'm gonna need some more torches. Okay. Now we make ourselves one of these. One of these. One of these. I think that's enough for now. First order of business is I want to make some crystals. Hold on. I have one iron. Should probably do something about that. No, you can stay there. I knew this was gonna happen. Okay. And it's starting to become that time where we talk about the next bias. And it's the assumption that before things get better, they have to get worse. And now, one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this one, and again, before we go into that, please note, always do note that we are not going into these in any particular order. The reason for that is because I don't think it's realistic to tell you every single one of them. And honestly, I really truly do believe that there is value in reading the book. I think you should read the book. And so I'm not going to tell you every single one of them, but I am going to tell you some of the ones that left an impression on me. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this one in particular is because the example that he uses in the book to kind of initiate the chapter is him explaining that doctors are actually very common victims of this bias. And the reason why I wanted to talk about that is because, girl, I was a victim to medical malpractice from a doctor who fell for this bias. And so he goes on to talk about his own experience with this bias in particular, of him sort of going to the doctor, being told told that a particular diagnosis was the most likely, and then being given the same treatment that a person with that diagnosis would get, the presumed diagnosis that the doctor had. And so, surprise, surprise, not only was that not his diagnosis, but when he actually went to another doctor to actually receive assistance, which, mind you, in his case, in his story, he literally had to be taken in a helicopter to receive service outside of I think it was outside of the country. I don't remember very well right now. But it was like this whole thing for him in his case. This was of no shock to me because I had experienced something similar when I was younger. My grandma took me to a doctor, and this doctor was supposedly a doctor that some of my family knew since I was a child, right? They kind of trusted this guy, which is rather disappointing for what ended up happening, which is I had a rash on my skin, and my family took me to the doctor because of this rash. Now, when my grandma took me to the doctor, she brought with her the cream that she had been putting on my skin for this rash, which when I was younger, the cream had worked. Right now, we were just observing it get worse instead of getting better. Like, it was getting a lot far worse than what it was like. And so my grandma's like, hey, we've been using this cream. It hasn't really been working. And this guy says, oh, that's fine. It's normal. Proceeds to tell my grandma to continue to use the exact same cream she had been using on my skin this whole time, then proceeds to give my grandma, mind you, the cream was on his hands, he was using it now, proceeds to give my grandma a full-on tutorial on how she was gonna put the cream on my skin, because I guess he was assuming that she just didn't know how to do it, and that's why I wasn't getting better. So with his own two hands, he puts again on my skin the exact same cream that had made me get worse, tells my grandma how to do it. For the next few days, that's exactly what my grandma was doing. Surprise, surprise, it did not get better. It did in fact get worse. So much worse, in fact, that I had to be taken to a dermatologist. The rashes had become open wounds, and I got an infection in my blood because of these open wounds that were on my skin. So for the next month and a half, I had to be taken to the doctor every day, every single morning, so they could clean the wounds. A professional could clean the wounds, apply medication. Like, at some point, it was so painful. As they were cleaning the wounds, I passed out in front of like 5 doctors. Over time, obviously I got better because this happened when I was a teenager, but it was so hard for me to go visit a doctor ever again after I had to go through that. It was one of the most painful experiences I have ever gone through, and I've been through some pain, all right? Life might have not taught me much, but life taught me pain. Okay. I should probably give this a ceiling. Is this even enough to give this house a ceiling? I have a question, chat. I have a question. If I leave these open so I could just yeet myself from the ceiling, am I gonna take fall damage? Well, it's time to try it out. Hell yeah, I'm not gonna take fall damage. Should I get more sand? I can make some more. What's going on here? Please don't fall. I need to cover that. I'm gonna fall in there. It's gonna happen at some point. I'm gonna fall and then I'm gonna lose all my stuff. I need to do something about that hole. I also will soon have to head straight to mining. I'm gonna have to do it. Is this even something that you wanna watch? Is this boring? I don't know. I don't wanna have you sitting there just watching me do all this stuff. Don't chat. There's water in my desk. Whoa, there's that. What happens if you put this in the rice cooker? I'm just curious. I just want to know. Wait, that's a thing? What do you get from that? There's no way. That's crazy. There you go. So what did we learn, kids? Sometimes when it gets worse, it'll also get worser. Anyways, what's the next bias? Is the hindsight bias. Is this idea that your brain is very good at tricking you into believing that you know better, or that you really did know when or how something was gonna go down. Newsflash or spoiler alert, 9 times out of 10, you don't. You don't know how things are gonna end up. And this one's very easy to explain because look no further than every single viral incident and people who have to apologize. And then look no further than the people in the comments who will constantly be telling you things like, my intuition told me that this wasn't a good person. I never liked them and I don't know why, and now I do. It's like our brains are very good at making us believe that we're smarter than what we actually are. Our brains are very good at making us think that we know better, that we know how things are gonna go. And it really is just anxiety. It really is just anxiety making you think of the worst case scenario. Anxiety making you think that the worst case scenario is the most likely one to happen. And then you kind of self-soothe by having no no surprise to the fact that the worst case scenario did in fact come about. When in reality, originally, had the actual worst case scenario not happened, you would have never shared your thoughts about how you never trusted this person, or how you always thought that there was something wrong with them but you couldn't tell what it was, which is, to be completely honest with you, generally speaking, very dishonest in my opinion. You know what, I probably shouldn't do that. I'm not going to try to organize any of these yet, but in case I didn't mention it, the reason why I'm trying to open as much of this space as possible is because I want to start planting the saplings that I got from other biomes, because I want to incorporate the pink wood into the build that I'm gonna make over there. I also have to go get more jungle stuff, so we should probably take a nappy nap. Okay, I want to have enough space to plant all those trees, and then we're gonna have to go on a resource gathering adventure. But I want to plant them first so we can give them time to grow. But the reason why I wanted to make sure I included the hindsight bias in this video is because one of the things that he suggests in the book is that you should keep a journal. And I love a journal. I have like 5 journals. It's an entire ecosystem. It's crazy. Keeping a journal is quite literally the best thing I have ever done for my mental health. I think every single human on earth should have a journal. Men, women, children, I think everybody should have a journal. Journals are so good. So good. Good for you, good for the people around you. Now, the reason why he says you should keep a journal is so that you can keep note of your own predictions, precisely so that you don't dilute yourself into thinking that you're some kind of weird magician, right? And then express or showcase borderline psychotic behavior in society. But the reason why I think you should keep a journal is because journals are a very good container for your crazy. And so the good thing about containing your crazy on your own is that you don't have to pay a therapist to contain your crazy or put your crazy out there on display for other people to see. And it is fairly common for people to put their crazy on places where other people can see it, so much so that more people than you know actually do it, not knowing that they do it. Why am I like this? Why do I just do things in the hardest freaking way possible? Oh, probably shouldn't have done that, huh? I went over a little bit. That's okay. I should be able to just, yeah, that should be okay, but I'm gonna have to go get a new pickaxe really shortly. Journals are generally speaking fantastic too in professional environments. Like if you have a job where it demands that you stay in the best headspace possible, because you don't have to use your brain as a container for things like that. When I worked a job and I kept a journal, nobody could tell me anything. Because I would write down everything, and sometimes people would backtrack or act like they didn't say something, and I could very easily just be like, yeah, you did. You said that in this exact date, at this exact time, you said this, and that, and you instructed the team to do this, and that. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. TLDR, everybody should keep a journal. Anyways, that scared me. I thought it was a pillager for a second. Okay, I'm gonna finish opening this space here, and then after that we're gonna go on our epic adventure. So I'll actually be right back with you as soon as I'm done opening this space, because it's getting real boring in my opinion for you to just watch me do this. Boo! We're back. So let me show you what I did. Let me take these with me now so I can just plant them. Okay. So we've got, I don't understand the rules of planting trees yet, so I'm just gonna maybe, and then I'm gonna maybe like over here. I don't know, chat. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like, I hope I'm doing this right. Usually, like in Animal Crossing, for example, when you plant trees, you have to kind of leave a certain space. There's probably rules for doing that here, but I don't know what they are. I don't understand that yet. In any case, we're gonna switch the food that I'm carrying with me, because I want to go out and try to see if I can get more, or should probably do me one of these. No. Wait, can I make it? Do I make it? Hey! Okay. Whee! Okay. Oh, I should take my boat. If I lose my pink boat, I'm gonna crash out. I'm taking it just in case, but if I lose my boat, I'm gonna crash out. No! Ow! I am not good at that yet, but I need to find somewhere high. I might have chosen a bit of a difficult biome for how clumsy I am. I probably shouldn't have done that. It looks so cool. Okay. The goal here is to find a cave or something. And the reason for that is because we are in that part of the game where we are starting to need resources. Like, I need iron. This is definitely not it. And it's starting to get done nighttime, so I should probably head back. I'm gonna cross over there tomorrow and see if I can. Well, that's not good. This is probably not good. Need to get in the water. Stop. No, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die again. Can you please get off the water and in the house? Okay. I'm gonna go across to the other side and then see if we can find a cave over here. To you too. I think that's one. I should have left what's in my pockets and I shouldn't have brought this here. Now that I think about it. Did we talk about the hindsight bias? I think we did. I think up next, you want to start the music now? Don't try to make me poo my pants. Let's take this. Oh wow, there's like a lot of it. We take those. Okay, there's like a whole new world in here. If I die, it's gonna make me mad, 'cause I lose everything I've gathered here, and I don't wanna make this trip again a whole new world. If I die, I'll be crashing out. The heck? Oh, so this is like another entrance to the same. Okay. I have no patience here. What is that? Oh, that's lava. Please don't kill me. Okay. I'm scared. No more iron? I need more iron. Are you gonna give me one iron? I should. Ow. I don't have a shield yet. And I'm not good at combat. I should probably just try to find safer ways to acquire the iron I need. Please stay away from me. Please stay away. Ow! Oh my god, why did it take you so long to die? There's like plenty of resources here, but not what I'm looking for. I need iron. As I complained. Hey, give me. No. Please, please don't make me do this. No! All I do is suffer. All I do is suffer. The worst part is, I lost my pink boat. I'm crashing out. I'm crashing out. I need to do something about this. Getting in the way of my productivity. I need to go find my stuff. I need to go find it. I need to be faster. Move. I don't have a shield yet. Leave me alone. Yeah, suffer. I hate you. Where's my stuff? I don't have a good sense of where I go in places in life. Yeah, do that. Whatever. Here. Can you be a little more and a little less? Just overall, you're joking. Please be joking. There's the lava opening. Maybe if I go through there? Okay, I should be able to if I go through there. Oh my god. Can we not right now? This is really not the appropriate time for this. Congrats. This is a dangerous maneuver. Okay, kids, please don't try this at home. I can't remember if I went through here or over there. I came out from there, no? And then I came through here. Was it? Was it here? It was not here. I stopped. Let's go. Okay. I take these and then I leave. I gotta get out of here because I don't want to take the risk of dying again and then losing everything again. Dear God, please tell me I didn't. Okay, don't get lost. Definitely don't do that. I'm pretty sure that what I did was I went through here. Yes. Okay, I run. Don't fall in the lava, please. It's nighttime. No bueno. But if I'm really, really fast, I might make it. I'm scared. Okay, so that's the jungle biome. So if I go through here, will I get home? Can I see my home from here? I think my home is over there somewhere. Let's not look for trouble. Please let me be right. I think that is my home. My home! Okay. We're safe. My Wait, you can swim? Jesus, that could have been so dangerous. That could have been so dangerous. Oh my God. That was so scary. That was so scary. I did not like that. That was not fun. Scary. I hated that. I hated every second of it. I'm not good at this kind of stuff. We're gonna put this in a separate chest. Anyways, so I think the very last bias that we're gonna talk about, keeps yapping as if I didn't spend 2 hours just struggling in game, is illusion of control. And the reason why I wanted to discuss this one is particularly because if I were to oversimplify its definition, then I would say is the overall feeling that we have the capacity to influence outcomes that are really just outside of our reach. And I think very good examples of systems that thrive on this is the attempt in the human experience to make other people responsible for how we feel, and also the idea that we can manipulate other people's feelings. We have created entire subcultures that rely on this idea that there's something we can do about that. Whoa, hell yeah. These are not growing. I heard something. Why does it take you so long to die? This so-called dark psychology thing, right? This idea that there's something we can do about the way that other people feel, but also this idea that there's something that people can do about the way that we feel, or that people are to be held responsible for the way that we feel. And not only are other people's emotions not a controllable factor from your experience, but this also operates the other way around. Other people can't really control how you respond to certain things. What's the curse of vanishing? What does that mean? Am I gonna die? Hold on, I gotta Google that. Curse of vanishing. Oh. So if I die while I have it equipped, then it's just gonna go away. I'm not getting it back. I mean, it's whatever. It should be fine. Oh, okay. It's gone. Hey, well, I definitely didn't think that through. But whatever, dude. I need to for real go get me food. I need to stop freaking around and just go get some food. Well, that took forever. Okay. And so this idea that there's something outsiders can do to sort of control your emotions, in my humble opinion, I've never claimed to be an expert, so please take this with a grain of salt. I think it's a little emotionally irresponsible because it outsources the agency of people's autonomy. And when people get used to that, they never really take responsibility for their own capacity for growth and to become more emotionally intelligent. And I think that there are very good examples of these in social media where people see other people discuss their own experiences with a situation and sort of almost a lot of the times automatically will make it mean something about them, even though these strangers are not discussing them. I'm sorry, but I needed that. A lot of the times these strangers don't really want to have anything to do with that. Or there was a cave there the whole time. Did I even go there? I don't even remember going there. Or they sort of will dilute themselves into this weird mental gymnastics to stretch whatever the original poster was talking about to make it fit their personal agenda or their personal criteria of what the correct perspective with which to observe the situation should have been. And this sort of ties to the idea that everybody thinks that everybody's right. Everybody thinks that they are personally right. And it makes you think that there's a possibility in society that everything simply just is half the truth. Because if we're all entitled to be offended, then no one's entitled to being offended. If everything is offensive to all of us, then nothing is offensive to anyone. But then are things really offensive, or are we just getting offended? And so the original poster's personal experience becomes almost meaningless to this idea that the people who are reacting to this experience then get to mental gymnastics their way into a near impossible metaphoric equivalent to a distant cousin you haven't seen in decades, which is really sad when you think about it. Because imagine having the intention of discussing your experience and the way in which you reacted to it, which technically speaking everyone should be entitled to do, and then people get to just react to your experience and make it mean something that you never meant to say. What is that? Hello, Editing Lyra here. I just wanted to jump back in and clarify a few things about what I was discussing in regards to emotional responsibility. I definitely think you should want to communicate clearly, effectively, and efficiently. That's not what I mean by emotional responsibility. If the impact of someone's words is also left at the mercy of the receiver's interpretation, in my opinion, the intentions behind the speaker should matter just as much. The reason for this is because if they didn't, we would be robbing language of its functional definition. Language isn't something you're supposed to feel. It is a system of symbols intentionally created for people to express themselves and convey messages or communicate with each other. And so I don't think you should communicate irresponsibly, but I do believe that other people shouldn't be allowed to decide what the intentions behind your words are if they are not the speaker. Unless, of course, it's a very obvious malicious intent, because people have a tendency to be dishonest about that. And I think that should matter just as much as impact, because to claim otherwise is a disservice to what language is by definition and what language is intended to do. And so the reason why I wanted to clarify this is very simple. What I mean by emotional responsibility is objectively, and I don't mean to hurt anyone's feelings with this, strangers on the internet shouldn't have access to your emotions. I love you and I need you to understand that I'm telling you this because it is unhealthy for you. Now, this video is already pretty long, so I'm going to leave it there for now, but if you'd like to hear more about this, then we can definitely turn it into a full discussion. Okay, so it's just normal dirt. I don't even know what these are for. Are those shrooms? Are those mushrooms? Oh my god. You just now gave me a recipe. So I did all of that. I'm thinking I'm picking something up or whatever. What's happening? So what are these for? Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna take these and then wait, because isn't it supposed to like go down on its own? That's a big ass tree. Are these the same as the trees over there? Oh no, these are bigger. These are huge. It's a different kind of wood. What? Wait, I saw a big tree over there, but I thought it was the same wood as the one that I had picked up. So it's a different kind? I thought this was supposed to fall down. God dang it. Okay. So there was another one here. Is there anything here? Really? There isn't much going on here. Ow! I wasn't even looking for wood. I'm looking for foods. Is that a different kind of wood? Brown mushroom. Interesting. You know what, Chad? I think I have to go back home anyway, because I broke my axe and I still have to gather food, but the only thing I see around here are pigs. And I was wondering if I could get chickens or other stuff, because I don't want to kill all the pigs because I want to save enough for my farm. I'm still glad I was able to make my shield, even though I struggled a little, but I'm just gonna leave it here for now. I'm just gonna go back home and leave it here for now. So thank you for watching. Don't do anything that I wouldn't. Friendly reminder, this does include no arson, no ending up in jail, and no ending up in the hospital. No adding or subtracting to or from the population. Be good. I love you very much, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye.